Hello, I'm Heather Broadbent, violinist, founder and instructor of onlineviolineducation.com, where I teach violinists all over the world how to improve their technical skill sets to empower their melodic playing. Today, I will be discussing the key of E major. Now, if you're new to my YouTube channel or following me along, I'm really excited that we have a practice calendar that's sent out monthly. Here's the practice calendar, and in order to get to your monthly practice calendar, see, it's two-sided because there's so many things on there, just head on over to onlineviolineducation.com and register your name and email, and you'll be directed to how to access this calendar, okay? It's downloadable and printable, as you can see. You can work with it online and not print it up if you don't want to. And it has links to training videos, to blog posts, all free information. And the exercises that are put in here for daily exercise, they have little check boxes next to them, so you can check off each time you do the exercise. You can choose to do each exercise for 3 minutes, which will give you a 15-minute technique routine, or you can choose to do it for 6 minutes, which will allow a 30-minute tech routine practice for your violin journey, okay? Now, a lot of these exercises can be found actually with the online violin education books as well, so it'll be very helpful as you work through the calendar, okay? Now, every month we have a key focus and a position focus. And this month's key focus is the key of E major, and our position focus is in 5th position. And what I want to talk about in this video is specifically about E major, okay? And how to know when you're in the key of E major. Well, E major has 4 sharps. And as violinists start their violin journey, they are typically taught with 3 sharps. So when that 4th sharp gets thrown in, they get a little confused a bit, okay? So I'm going to talk about the key of E major and how to play scales in E major and actually different positions on the violin. And it's really cool because it's the same finger pattern no matter what position you're in. And so let's get started. So the key of E major, like I said, has 4 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp, okay? So 4 sharps. The final sharp, D sharp, is our leading tone to the E, key of E, okay? So I'll show you what that is. So if we were playing this in 1st position, so you'll start in 1st position on the D string for your 1st finger, that's E, okay? You just go up the scale. The finger pattern is only 3 and 4 touch, whole steps between 1, 2, and 3, so that means that they're equidistant, as you can see there, okay? So we have E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. You can play that with your 4th finger or open A. It's the same, okay? And then on the A string, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. Now, if you're doing just the 1 octave E major scale, you want to play that E with your 4th finger, not your open E, but you can check it with your open E to make sure you're perfectly in tune, okay? So on the A string, as you see, equidistant, whole step between 1, 2, and 3, B, C sharp, D sharp, and a half step to that E, which is 4th finger. Okay, so our sharps, like I said, in the key of E are F sharp, so that's our high 2 on D, and C sharp, which is high 2 on A in 1st position, G sharp, which is high 3 on D, and then D sharp, which is high 3 on A, okay? So really do make sure that you physically feel the 3 and 4 touch, that you really bring that 3 behind the 4 and not think, okay, I'm bringing the 4 next to the 3 because you'll most likely be flat, okay? So, and we don't have any flats in this scale, only 4 sharps, all right? So that high 3, and that high 3 can be quite challenging for a beginner violinist to get that 3 high enough and to get it independent, just the way that our hands are built and the bone structure, that it is difficult to get that high 3. So I do have in my book, Strengthening Exercises for 1st Position, exercises to help you play high 3, which in turn helps you play within the key of E major, okay? And so that's in the 1st position. Now, if you're a more advanced violinist and you know your violin positions, or if you want to challenge, you can head up in 4th position and play the same scale. So you start with E on the A string in 4th position. Okay, that pitch is E. You can check it with your open E to make sure you're in tune. Okay, and then the finger pattern is the same. So your fingers again it's equidistant. The 1, 2, the 3, and then the 4 comes next to the 3. Now be careful, as you work up higher in the instrument, the intervals become smaller, so it's really easy to become sharp. So really listen that your pitches are truly in tune, and then you're not using the same distance that you were in 1st position. And you can check that 4 with your open A. Okay, and then we go to the E string, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. And you can check that for with your open E. Okay, so that's in fourth position. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, our focus, if you're following along with online violin education and our practice calendar, our focus for the month as far as positions is fifth position, okay? Now, fifth position reads like first position, and if the whole position thing is kind of new to you, definitely check out my Violin Position blog post at onlineviolinineducation.com. That will help you along, and I have a wonderful video there that truly explains where the positions are in the violin, because I know I'm going through this quite quickly today, but you can check out that video and get the training that you need for knowing where those positions are, okay? So this is more like an introductory video for E major and having the knowledge to know where you can play it in one octave scales on the instrument, okay? So starting with the first finger. All right, so now in fifth position, starting with the first finger on E in fifth, so you can check, first position, E, get up in fifth position on the G string, okay, and then play the same scale, same finger pattern. E, F sharp, G sharp, 4 touches. Okay, isn't that gorgeous? I love the G string. Upper G string is my favorite place to play. And then going over to the D string, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. And the 4 touches of 3 again. So exactly how you played it in first, 1, 2, 3, 4, is with the same finger pattern is how you play it in fifth position as well. Okay, and it reads the same. If you're a note reader, which I highly encourage you to be, because you're going to be able to progress a lot further on your instrument if you read notes, okay? If you read music, really important. So it reads the same, the notes read the same, and it's the same pitches. Now when we did it in fourth position, that was an octave higher, okay? But here in fifth position, it's the same as you do in first with the same pitches, okay? It sounds the same is what I'm saying, okay? So that's how you play it in fifth position. Now if you want something even more challenging for your fifth position journey in E major, I've created a booklet with E major scales, arpeggios, and exercises specifically for fifth position E major scales, okay? So you can find that at onlineviolinineducation.com. Plus, if you're interested in, if you're more in first position land and haven't ventured out of first position, which is totally fine, it's good to stay there. And actually, if you it's good to stay there for, training purposes, to make sure you feel really comfortable before you start moving into other positions. But I have a wonderful strengthening exercise book to help you out with those finger patterns at onlineviolinineducation.com. So enjoy. Don't forget to get your practice calendar at onlineviolinineducation.com for the month of May. Since today is May 1st, it's a perfect time to get started on this if you haven't already. And I will see you around this month, okay? So ciao, wishing you a wonderful, wonderful, magical week full of happy practices. Ciao.